there's like a few minute lag. And then once this comes on, make sense so far? Yeah. I mean, it's like once you do it and sit down next time if you want, you'll be able to click through. But see, this thing starts to move, so that means the sound is working. And then you just press mute on here so there's no feedback.
Okay.
Many times the sound doesn't work, and usually that means I just have to click this button once or twice, and then I just restart it. Like, okay. And then the final thing, this is the iPad that I can have close to me, so if anyone has questions, I can see that. There's two ones to think about. So this one, in the daytime, I don't use the lights because it gets hot, but at night I do. So you just click on that black one, and then you can see here, like you see the lights changing, and you can change the brightness and lower it down. So I'm just going to keep this off, but then same thing on Union. I'll type in my thing. But this is the exact same format you see when you sign people in. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm always clicking around. You just want to go to the dashboard so you can see.
Okay.
And that's it.
Perfect.
Yeah? Hi, honey! Yay! Welcome back.
Thank you.
How are you? Hi, we saw you guys walking down the catwalk and we're like, oh no.
I was like, Kayla, I know you probably have to work. Do you want to go up near me?
I've got it.
Don't even worry. Give me a reason.
How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah?
Still like modifying some core stuff.
Yeah.
I went to Larry's class on Saturday.
Oh,
so
damn.
I feel like I
Did
jumped
it.
in.
Yeah, you did.
I did Alyssa's a couple of times before the prenatal and stuff.
Good. How's the babe? How are you? How's the pup?
Oh, they're both so good.
Aww.
Yeah, Bryn's like involved in everything though. Like, if like one of us is handing the baby to the other, like she's like in between our legs. Like, yeah, she's so involved. But partially our fault because we were giving her treats like every time out of guilt.
Needed.
Like,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
not getting any attention. Yeah, but she's doing really well.
That's so
I was
sweet.
explaining the sleep to Kale, and I was like, I was so naive before. I was like, I had no idea.
No idea. I mean, people can tell you so much and you don't know until you know.
Sleep now because you won't be able to sleep later. I was like, first of all, it's not how sleep works. Second of all, I don't understand.
Third of all, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
My cousin in Portland just had a baby around the same time you did, and she goes back to work on Monday. And when I went to, I sent her like a big bouquet of flowers and was like, I don't know what to do for you, but like this is the best I can give. And she sent me a video of her just weeping in front of the bouquets. I was like, okay, something is working.
All the time, I'm like, thank God, like I'm in my program full time, so I was just like, okay, I'm taking the whole semester off.
Great.
And I was like, I can't imagine if you're working.
No.
And like you have to go back every 6 weeks or 8 weeks. That's crazy.
I know.
They're still so little.
I know.
Like nothing has really changed that much about her from like when she was like 2 weeks old.
Sure.
She's still the same.
Yeah, a potato.
Yeah,
A perfect little potato who needs you.
Hungry potato.
Yes.
That's it. Hungry potato. That's why.
Oh my God.
I can't believe that though.
I know.
Yeah, that's sweet of you. That's really.
I mean, I'm trying. I'm also like, when I went up there, baby was 6 weeks old, and she wouldn't let me hold him yet because he wasn't vaccinated. So I was like, carrying your bags. Just gotta hold his diaper bag and everything that you
I was
need.
just like planning with Kayla. I was like, okay, once she gets her shot,
Yeah.
you guys come over.
Then you can touch her.
Yeah, I know. Kids' parents are coming this week though. They're gonna touch her.
Oh, okay. They're gonna touch her. Mentally prepared. I love seeing you. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for coming. Choose 5, 6. Oh, so many people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. We'll start. We have so much time before we get started, y'all. 4 whole minutes, but we'll use all of our props today. So if you want to grab a strap, therapy balls, blocks, we'll do some stuff with our knees down on the floor. So if you want some cushioning, a blanket is a good idea. And then Kaushik and I can also bring stuff over to you as we start to practice. What's the weather feeling like inside? Are we too hot? Are we too cold? I'll turn the fans on as we start to get warmer, but you okay to start? Okay. I know yesterday, I don't know if anyone got bit by the bug, but I opened all the windows and was like, is today the day I have to clean all my shower curtains and like insides of the cabinets? Like that's what this weather is bringing. So if we need it to be any different, please tell me. You want to sit here? Wherever you like. Oh, goodness. Hi. Hey, good to see you. Is today the 9th? Today's Monday. Okay, thank you. Starts end of September. September 27th is our first night. Yeah. And there's still people signing up. Someone emailed last night and was like, I took the class at the art museum. Can we talk to you? I'm like, you have 2 weeks, but yeah, sure. Oh, no. Ay, ay, ay. Hi, how are you? Back here.
I'm a little slow today.
Okay. Hi. Hello. Good. Okay. Balls, all the balls, the straps, the blocks. We'll get some time to roll. Let's check. Okay. 4 more. But the sweet thing is, the later you come to class, the closer up to me you have to get. So there's plenty of room for everyone to pepper in. 1, 2, 3. If possible, just in case, if there's an inch or 2 of room next to you, do you mind scooching just a drop closer so a mat can Tetris right in, just in case people don't want to come all the way up front? I fully understand. Thank you. And space in the back. Okay, great. Perfect. Thank you all. Yay. Hi, you two. We just scooched around in case you want your pick of the litter of spots. Okay. Let's get started. An hour is so long and so short at the same time, and there's so much stuff to get through. So welcome. It's great to be with you all. For those of us that are new to each other, my name is Anisha, and we have a treat for as long as we can keep her for. Kashika is here, who just graduated from teacher training in June and will be assisting class. So you'll see us floating around throughout. I'll be practicing from the mat. She'll be walking around. So if anything that I say doesn't make sense or you have specific questions, please feel free to pick her brain. She's an incredible resource, such a great teacher who taught a bunch of community classes, and use her to your advantage. Okay, I think that's it. There's like 10 billion announcements to get to, but I want to share those afterwards because September, October, November, and December are just chatty months for me in the beginning of class because it's a great time of year in the yogic and Hindu tradition of a lot of holidays that are coming up. So for all of September, we'll be talking about stories of one of the great deities and lords of yoga, the elephant-headed god. Deet, deet. You can play a little hide and seek because he's peppered all throughout the studio downstairs. But his birthday was just celebrated from September 6th to 7th, so just last week. And in the vein of Virgo birthdays, we're going to stretch his whole birthday out for the month of September and get a nugget of a story each week as we start to practice. So Ganesh, he's known, he's also here, the stuffed animal on the camera. because he's known to be the remover of obstacles. So sometimes he works, but most of the time I bonk my head into the camera despite the fact that he's there, but we try and use him to where we can. So he is the god who has the head of an elephant, a mature elephant, and the body of a very large baby boy, where his belly is always out. He's constantly being fed sweets as offerings. And he's known to be a few things. He's known to be the god of wisdom and of knowledge. He's known to be the god who is the remover of obstacles, just as he is the obstacle himself. For what we do is, when you think about him or when you call to him, his statue or deity is often placed in thresholds of doorways to protect what's coming in through the doorway and also what's leaving the metaphorical doorway. It's a two-way. Last night when I had the story time, Alyssa, who came, was like, oh, he's a boundary elephant. I was like, yes, the god of boundaries, to be able to set clear intentions for what it is that we're looking to and clear intentions for new paths that we're moving towards. So today, I'll give you the spoiler of what we're working towards. We're moving, the whole month is going to be a practice of binds, of wrapping ourselves around ourselves. Last week, we worked towards Bird of Paradise, and today we'll work towards Vishvamitrasana, a big old twisty arm balance bind, side body stretch, everything all linked into one. And the invitation is always pace yourself, practice, negotiate with yourself with what it is that you need, whether that's attempting something new or different, or laying down, which is such a great gift to do at any given point. But when we think about and call to Ganesh, it's going to be this constant reminder of what is it that you're willing to not let in, what is it that you're willing to let out, and what are the boundaries that you are holding within yourself, and we'll see where the binds take us. So lots to get to. Drink water. I'll turn the fans on as it starts to get toasty. Observe, take breaks. But thank you for coming. I'm happy you guys are all here. If you need any props, we'll use every single one of them. Call one of us over and we can bring them over to you. But we'll get started today in a comfortable seat, however that looks. You're more than welcome to start lying down on the floor. You can start cross-legged, you might start seated on your knees. Maybe you're up on some props to give your hips some extra height. But with your eyes either fully closed or softly open, can you begin to listen for your breath? When we close our eyes, it gives us a moment to see ourselves more clearly than before. Where each breath gently dissolves the morning and day that was. Each breath lets you arrive to where you are now. And each breath that comes after makes a little more space for what has yet to come. So as you let yourself arrive in your seat within your own threshold, can you let your breath begin to naturally deepen, letting each inhale move from the nose down into your belly and up into your heart. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out through the crown of your head. Continue with a few more of those breaths at your pace, letting each breath move in, back, down, and wide. And each exhale offers itself back down into the earth and up and out through each fiber of you. Let's start our time here together with 3 more rounds of that same breath. Take a moment to place your hands to anywhere that feels like center for you, on your body or in front of your heart, in a moment of self-reverence. If those hands are in Anjali Mudra, you might pull your thumbs back to touch your heart. Bless as you lift your heart gently towards your hands to meet yourself where you are. Take a deep breath in to offer all of it out. 2 more times on your own. the bottom of your breath. Pause for a moment. Take notice of any difference that comes when you listen for and remember your breath. And now keeping that connection to yourself as best as you can. Let your hands release, gently blink your eyes open, and let's start in tabletop to start to link breath and movement together through a few rounds of cat and cow. Did everyone get here okay with all of the debate traffic? Do you know that it's happening? I didn't realize it was in Philly. I didn't either until today. I know, I'm so sorry, I live in my TikTok rock. But just to note, general obstacles that we're all facing in the city. Center City is going to be wild tomorrow and tonight. So give yourself some extra time. So when you're ready, find your way to tabletop. It's at the Independence. Okay, yep, thank you so much. I was like, it's at the Independence Hall, wherever that is. Constitution Center. Where is that? Oh, close by. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you all. This is where I get my life updates from, because my goodness. Okay, if you haven't already, start to move round and arch your spine at your pace. Let your hands come as wide as your mat. Give yourself some extra room. Spread your fingers as wide as you can. And start to tuck all 10 of your toes under to feel the arches of your feet. And let's go for 4 or 5 more breaths, just moving at your pace. Feel free to stay more rounded or arched for a few extra cycles. Perhaps you take a few breaths in child's pose, or moving your shoulders forward over your wrists. But see what it feels like to just link not just your body, but your body and your breath together. Find your way back to neutral, come to table. And for a calf stretch, watch for people and props behind you. Stretch the right leg back, tuck the right toes under, and reach back through the right heel. And see what you're starting with in the back of the right leg. As the heel goes back, and you slide the heart forward to grow longer in every direction. And then after a few breaths on this side, when you're ready, switch. Bend the right knee and stretch back through the left. Legs can feel different, backs of the legs can feel different. But while that heel goes back, let the very top of your head go forward so all 4 sides of your neck grow longer. And then bend the left knee, take it to table. Walk your hands forward of your shoulders. Let them stay as wide as your mat. Take up that space. Walk your knees back behind your hips. And with your toes tucked under, we'll meet in downward facing dog with the hands nice and wide as you lift your hips to the sky. In your down dog, you might pedal the heels one at a time from side to side. You might soften and straighten your legs at the same time to take notice of what you feel. But a bigger breath in and a longer breath out. Now just to gauge a little distance, as you inhale, come forward to plank pose. Let the shoulders come over your wrists. Knees up or down, but if it felt like you needed to move your hands or feet wildly back or forward, might mean your down dog is a smidge too short. So keep your hands and feet where they are. Take a big breath in, and on your exhale, take it right up and back to downward facing dog. This literal threshold that you're creating, this inverted V, what is it that you're willing to let in? What is it that you're willing to let out? All these aspects of ourselves that exist within Ganesh. So take a longer breath in. One more exhale to let it all go. And now lift the heels high, soften your knees, peek forward, and 1 foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your hands to come into your forward fold. Feel free to have blocks underneath your hands so the floor comes high up to meet you. Might widen your feet, you might bend your knees as you bow in towards yourself. But take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. And now after a few breaths, bring your hands to your hips, stand through your legs, and an inhale to come all the way up to rise as you release your hands. With your feet right under your hips, take a big breath in, reach the arms forward and up. As you exhale, soften your knees to fold over your legs. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen, reach the spine long. And on your exhale, plank pose, step it all the way back. With the knees up or down, press the floor away from you. Can you reach your tush, your tailbone towards your heels? And now slide your chest forward. Take a big breath in. Exhale to bend the elbows to lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale to rise for cobra or baby cobra as you lift up through the heart. And on your exhale, we'll meet in downward facing dog or table or child's pose for 3 steady breaths. This practice, first and foremost, an offering to that breath. So take notice of its qualities, what it feels like, the cool air as it comes in through the nose, and the warmth of the air that pours itself out and through you. Now when you find your next breath, lift your heels high, soften your knees, look forward to come forward to your standing forward fold. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen. On your exhale, fold and bow into yourself. Take a slow, steady breath in to rise. Reach up, touch the sky, and exhale to bring the hands down by your sides. One more time, really follow your breath more than my voice. As you inhale, reach up. On your exhale, fold Uttanasana. Take the whole breath in like the trunk of an elephant to grow long through the spine. And on your exhale, plank pose. A full round of breath here. And as you exhale, lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Wait for your inhale to rise, no rush, Cobra, Bhujangasana. And on your exhale, we'll meet again in downward facing dog, or table, or child's pose. Can you slow down the next breath in and offer the whole exhale out, even at the very bottom of your breath, let that breath go. And now from your down dog, float the right leg up and back. Step it through to catch your lunge. Lower your back knee down onto the floor or a blanket. And now once the knee is down, climb your hands up onto your hips or your front thigh. Give the legs a squeeze together, so pull the right heel back and the left thigh forward. And as the legs stay steady, reach both arms up to the sky. Bend your left elbow, give yourself a pat on the back, let the right fingertips hold on to the elbow. And now grow taller, elbow to the ceiling as you press your head back into the forearm. When your head goes back, do your ribs go forward like mine do? Can you slide the ribs back as you press the head back? Take one more big breath in. Stay for your exhale. You might bend into that front thigh as you lift the left elbow up. And then on your breath, release the arms, plant your palms, take it back to downward facing dog. Take notice of what you feel from one side to the other. And now other side, lift the left leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge and lower the right knee onto any padding that you need. Once the knee taps the earth, hands come up to your hips and squeeze those legs together. So you're wrapping the right hip forward and the left hip back. And now as you inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Bend your right elbow. Let the left fingertips hold on. How much taller can you get? Elbow up towards the ceiling. Press your head back and slide the ribs back. See if you can look away from the ground as you take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. You might bend into that front thigh as you lift the right elbow 1 more inch to the sky. And now on your next inhale, unravel yourself, hands to the ground. Take it back to downward facing dog and notice what you see and feel. Few more times together. Inhale through to plank pose, shoulders right over your wrists. On your exhale, lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Wait for your inhale to rise, Cobra Bhujangasana. Hug those shoulder blades together. And let your exhale, more than my voice, take you back to downward facing dog. From your down dog, float the right leg up and back. Step it forward to catch your lunge. Pivot your back heel to the floor. And for extended side angle, right forearm to your right thigh. And start with your left hand on your hip for today. Can you slide your left palm down towards the top of your left thigh as if you were sticking your hands in your pockets? And just see if the top of your left thigh is moving forward towards the long edge of your mat. Now try the opposite. Look at your belly. Send the left thigh back like you're sticking your butt out towards your friend behind you. And now anchor your right butt cheek towards the earth, like they're doing 2 different things. Good. Just slide the shoulders back, the ears back. Maybe you keep your left hand on your hip or you reach the left fingertips forward. But can you feel that back thigh? Lift the left thigh up Send it back. And as you stand heavy through the left foot, bend into that right thigh. Take a big breath in. Big exhale to offer it out. Now legs stay the same as you reach back through the left arm. On an inhale, rise, warrior two. Bend 1 more inch into that front leg. Push the right leg straight, get long in each direction. Trikonasana, right fingertips to your block or to the earth. Let's all come to the outside of that right leg today. So as your right hand taps the block at any height or the floor, see if there's some part of your right arm that can touch your right leg. Maybe it's the wrist, the forearm, part of the block. And can you press the leg into that right hand as you press the right arm back into the leg? Now slide the shoulders back. Can you lean back against yourself? A bigger breath in. Stay for your exhale to offer that breath out. And then on your inhale, unwind. Lower the hands to the ground. Bend the right knee and take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels one at a time. Notice what you feel from side to side. And now second leg, lift the left leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Pivot your back heel to the earth. And as you rise for that extended side angle, Parsvakonasana, second side, just see what that back right thigh is doing. It's almost the reverse of what it normally wants to do. Lift the right thigh up, away from the ground. Send the top of your right thigh back so you feel the fabric of your pant leg start to crinkle. And now as you stand through the right foot, bend into the left thigh. And as if there's a paperweight on your left butt cheek, anchor the left tush down to the earth. Shoulders back, ears back. Keep the right hand where it is or reach it forward towards the front of the room. Take a bigger breath in. Stay for your exhale and bend into that front thigh. Now try and keep the legs steady. Stretch back through the right arm. On your inhale, rise. Virabhadrasana 2. Bend into the front thigh. Push the left leg straight. Take a breath. Get long. And on your exhale, Trikonasana. Left hand to your block or to the earth, somewhere outside of that left leg. And they might not touch actually, but if they do, some part of the block, some part of your left palm, your wrist, your forearm, see if almost you could create one limb with both of those. Hug your left leg to the right, squeeze your left arm into the left leg, and then lean back against yourself as you take a bigger breath in and a longer breath out. And now on your inhale, unwind, lower the hands, bend your left knee, and take it back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels out one at a time, see what you feel. And now from your down dog, lift both heels high. Soften your knees, look forward to come forward to the top of your mat, standing forward fold. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen. On your exhale, fold and bow in. Let your feet be a fist or 2 fist width distance apart. And as you bend your knees, sit your hips back, climb your palms up onto your thighs to sit into chair pose. Check to see that the knees and toes are pointing straight ahead. And as the hips get heavy, press into the legs to lift your heart. We'll add a twist here. Bring your hands to the center of your chest. Pull your thumbs back to your heart, lift your heart up into your thumbs, and now twist to the right. Left elbow to the inside of your left thigh. So same elbow, same leg. As you push your left elbow into the left thigh, turn your belly button open to the right. Now see if your hips are swaying to the right like mine are. Lean your butt to the left, turn the belly to the right, and now slide the ears back to lift your chin. Inhale to come up halfway, unwind. Last side, right elbow to the inside of your right thigh. Press your leg into your arm into your leg. And as you turn from the belly, open to the left, slide the ears back and let your hips sit lower to the earth. On an inhale, unwind, reach up, touch the sky. You feel the thighs? It's on purpose. And as you exhale, fold and bow in. All right, right foot forward. Step your left foot back to catch your lunge. And so here it's your choice. You can either move towards lizard lunge as you heel toe your right foot to the right and bring both hands to the inside of your right leg, or pigeon pose. We're going to come in for a thigh stretch. You might heel toe your right foot over to the left and lower your right knee and shin down onto the ground. The choice is there. If pigeon doesn't feel good on the knee or the hip, lizard is going to be a great option. But a thigh stretch is what we'll take. So come up onto your fingertips or blocks out in front of you. Feel the back knee down and hug the back knee forward towards the front of your mat. Now bend your back knee to lift the left toes up. Stay right here breathing, or with your right hand down on the block or on the floor, reach your left hand out and around for the left foot. Ay, ay, ay. I feel like it's been 10 years since I've done pigeon with a thigh stretch, and the body feels like it's 100. So take a breath, like 100 years since I've done this. Hug the left hip towards your left heel. Shrug the left shoulder up and back. And now look away from the ground as you take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale to offer that breath out. And now on your inhale with care, release the hold of the leg. Plant your palms. We'll meet in downward facing dog as you lift your hips to the sky. Pedal the heels one at a time. Notice what you feel and see. And now walk your feet an inch closer towards your wrists, just a tiny bit shorter. Lift your right leg up and back, the one that was just in lizard or pigeon. And as you exhale, carve your right knee to your nose for core plank. Shoulders over the wrists. Push the floor away from you. Maybe scoop the right thigh 1 inch further forward. And now inhale to reach the right leg up and back. One more time with a twist. Right knee to left shoulder. Now kick the right foot all the way off to the left. Spin your left heel to the ground. Stay here, or for this version of fallen triangle, the higher you lift your hips up, the left hand might get lighter. It might come to your left hip, or you might reach it up to the sky. But take a big breath in. Stay for your exhale. Lift your hips up 1 more inch. And not quite done yet. Lower your hand back to the earth. Lift your back heel up off the ground. And now push your palms forward like you're moving your hips back to down dog. But that right leg is still reaching over to the left. 1 more breath in. Stay for your exhale. And then pigeon or lizard is the exit strategy. Slide your right knee all the way back to the right. I'm blasting the AC. Yeah? Toast? Take a breath here in your pigeon or your lizard lunge. Can lower down onto your forearms or lower down onto blocks, but take 3 deep breaths in any variation you're in. The keeper of boundaries, the remover of obstacles. I mean, I know you didn't know what we were getting into before you walked in, but there's still always the choice of what it is that you want to decide. So as you take 1 more full breath in, fill your belly, fill up into the chest. And as you exhale, can you unclench the fingers, soften the jaw, and let your tongue be heavy against the roof of your mouth? Okay, after a few breaths here, got to do the other side. Walk your hands back, peel yourself away from the ground. We'll meet in downward facing dog for a breath or 2. Now from your down dog, lift the heels high. Soften your knees, look forward. And 1 foot at a time, or a few hops, walk your feet up towards your hands. Inhale to come up halfway, grow long. And as you exhale, take this whole breath to fold and bow into yourself. Keep your left foot forward, step your right foot back to catch your lunge. And now it can be the same lizard or pigeon you did on the first side, or it might be different depending on what you're working with in the hip or knee. So either left foot, walk it to the left, or left foot, walk it to the right to lower into pigeon pose. But as you come up onto your fingertips or blocks, we come in for that thigh stretch first. Feel the back knee down, hug your back knee forward, and now bend your right knee to lift the right toes up. Stay here breathing. You might use a strap to lasso around that right foot. Your right hand might reach for the heel, the toes, or we're in pants season, you might grab the leg of your pants. But think right heel towards the tush, slide the ribs back, and hug the shoulder blades together to lift the heart. Take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for your exhale. Can the crown of your head grow taller up to the sky? And now on your inhale, release the hold of your leg. Plant your palms. Take it back to downward facing dog. And a few breaths here to arrive. Now on your next inhale, walk your feet an inch closer towards your wrists. Lift the left leg up and back. And one more time, core plank. Carve the left knee towards your nose. Can you lift the right thigh higher? Lift your butt higher. And then into that space, scoop the left thigh 1 more inch forward. Inhale to reach up and back through the left leg. And now last side, left knee to right armpit. Kick the left foot off to the side. Spin your right heel all the way to the ground. And as you push through your feet, lift your tush up. Stay here with both hands down, or the higher your hips go, the right arm might reach to the sky. Slide the ears back. Can you lean back as you take 1 more breath in? Stay for your exhale, and then unwind. Lower the right palm down. Keep reaching your left leg to the right as you spin your back heel up off the earth. And now lift your hips to the sky like you're going to down dog, and see what this feels like in the outside of your left leg. 1 more breath. And on your exhale, the exit is lizard or pigeon for 3 deep breaths. Whew. Slow down the next top of your inhale. And as you exhale, soften what you can. The jaw, the tongue, the palms of fingers, and offer it to your breath. Take a slow, steady breath in through the nose, and even open your mouth to offer all of that breath out. Now, after your next few breaths here, peel yourself away from the earth. We're not doing that again, but take yourself back to downward facing dog for a breath or 2 as you lift your hips to the sky. From your down dog, lower both knees to the floor, sit back onto your heels, sip some water if you'd like, shake out anything you need to shake out, and take a breath. So the pose that we're moving towards, we'll try it twice. Once will be with the knees down, and then there'll be another variation that I'll show that please feel free to work any options that you're interested in. And Vishwamitra, he's not necessarily connected to Ganesh, but it is a big old bind. We're wrapping ourselves all the way around just to see what reveals itself through the bind. So if we were together last week, one of the very sweet metaphors of binds in our practice, a bind is anytime, this shoulder stretch is a bind. When you bring the hand at your low back, that's a version of a bind. When you come into, it's the first time in years my fingertips have just that one though. These are binds when you're connecting and wrapping yourself around yourself. The metaphor is what are you choosing to bind yourself to so that something even more exquisite can reveal itself. You bind yourself exquisitely in order for something greater to be created. So I'm mentioning that because if you see what I'm offering next and you're like, that is not my most exquisite bind, there's no obligation to do it. There's going to be lots of options of how to explore this. So I'm going to stack the deck in my favor and use every prop to my disposal. You're more than welcome to use one, all, or none. And the first one will be the variation where the back knee is down. So this is what it looks like, and I'll talk you through rights and lefts in a second. You come into that low lunge shape that we did before, but this time one heel spins to the back of your mat and your hand comes to your hip. So if you could piece it together, this is this with your back knee just happening to be down on the ground. Now the actions I want you to think about are this back leg. If my back leg wasn't on the blanket or knee, this is what it would want to do. Just slip slide all the way back behind me. So your actions are going to be hugging the back knee forward, sending this back thigh back to turn your chest open to the sky. It's going to be a big side body stretch. So I invite you to stay here and breathe. There's so much to explore in the sides of your lungs. If you want to try something different, you can grab your strap, loop it around that bottom foot. And now one hand holds the strap. As you hug the back knee forward, this leg might get lighter. And as this leg gets lighter, you extend it straight ahead first, like triangle pose. And then maybe, similar but very different to triangle pose, you extend this leg out in front of you. I'm trying to push my arm into my leg into my arm, so that as I bind into myself, I can turn my chest open to the sky. It's this level of, there's like resistance that you're creating for your torso to revolve open more. Same here. Yeah, I know that was a lot of words, but that one I have learned from past history. Better to show it rather than talk you through it because it gets very pretzel-y very quickly. I'll talk you through. You're also more than welcome to take a few breaths to rest in child's pose or on your belly. And there's also the great option of this half Hanuman variation that you can take. So I'll give you all the bus stops. You choose where you want to be. So find your way. If you want a blanket underneath your knees, you can find a blanket. Have your blocks close by to the top of your mat. You might use those. And maybe your strap. There's all of your tools available to you. And now, in table, step your right foot in between your hands to catch that low lunge. Take a breath or two here. You can be here the whole time lifting your chest. If you want that hamstring stretch in the back leg, you might send your hips back to lengthen through the back thigh. If you're moving towards this variation of Vishvamitra, spin your left heel to the right. Keep your right hand on the block or on the floor. And now climb your left hand to your hip so you open up to the long edge of your mat. Push your right thigh into your right arm. Push your right arm back into your right leg. And let that turn your belly open to the sky. Stay here for a big side body stretch. Reach your left arm forward towards the front of the room. Breathe here. If you want to explore, look down at the ground. You might grab your strap like a big jump rope and lasso the strap around the bottom of your right foot. Your left hand holds both edges of the strap. Your right hand comes onto the block or floor outside of the right thigh. And now as you hug your back knee forward, lean into your right hand to lift the right foot up off the earth. Take a breath here. Perhaps you reach your right foot straight ahead towards the long edge of your mat. And as you bend your left elbow, begin to sweep your right leg forward towards the front of the room. Give yourself more slack on the strap as needed, but as you tug the strap back, push your foot into the strap and turn your belly open to the sky. Wahoo! And then on your inhale, when you're ready, release the strap, bend the knee, lower the foot, and take it back to tabletop. Nice. That was it. That's also the sound effect that I do every time I'm like, ah! Any questions?
Yeah, is the back leg like pretty straight up and down?
I find mine is, great question. I find that if my hip is forward of the knee, it gets slip slidey and I feel it in the hip flexor. So I like to bring it relatively over and I'm squeezing. You know, it's not just there. I'm pretending like there's blocks in between my thighs. And when that leg lifts, I'm hugging it forward, sending this thigh back.
And so it's tilted back all
Yeah. What's the side view?
Yeah.
It's similar to here. Exactly similar. Thigh back, tush down. Yeah, great question. Anyone else?
I felt like my side was like crunched up, like it wasn't elongated.
The bottom side?
Yeah, the bottom.
Yeah. Inevitably, not unfortunately. That is just the shape of the pose. As in, like, there is a lot of compression in this bottom side because you're compressing there. Options could be walk this bottom hand further away from you. Like instead of touching the leg, you can walk it slightly further away or forward. And also, I love giving myself more slack on the strap. Not to put you on blast, but I love the version that you were doing where he was here. The leg doesn't have to lift, but you get huge side body sensation and turn the belly to the sky. The thing I want you to think about is not overextending the shoulder and bringing the elbow behind your head, but shoulder up and back to lean back. Is that helpful? I too feel side body compression. Always. Let's try the other side so we're not uneven for too long. So come to tabletop. Maybe blanket, maybe blocks. Left foot in between your hands into that low lunge shape. Now remember, I'm going to give you places to stay, so please stay where it feels most needed. If you want to come in for that half split, send your hips back, flex the left foot to straighten the knee, while the chest stays lifted. If you're moving towards that Vishvamitra, bend the front knee, spin your right heel to the left like a kickstand, and with your left hand on the floor, right hand to your right hip. Yeah, that's it. I know it gets, Simon says very quickly. Shrug the shoulder blades together, slide the ears back, and for a side body stretch, stretch the right arm forward towards the wall in front. And now to Catherine's point, what's the back leg doing already here? Can you hug the right thigh to the front of your mat? Send the top of your right thigh back. And if you want, look down to the floor. Find your strap around the sole of your left foot. And now you can keep the left heel on the ground the whole time as you release the strap and get long. Or lean into the left hand, lift the left heel, hug the right thigh forward, and then maybe send the left thigh towards the wall in front of you. And as you bend your left elbow, begin to sweep your left arm forward towards the front of the room. Slide the ears back to lean back. Beautiful. One more breath in. And whenever you're ready, soften the knee, release the strap, and lower hand and foot back to the earth. I know. The binds we get ourselves in and how to find our way out. Yeah? I want to give you, just because it's a Monday and we're already sweaty and we're already here, I want to show one last option, and then we're going to therapy ball our way into rest and do some counter poses. But because we've done it already, the next stage is to work this variation with the back knee lifted. Now we've done all of the component parts. We've done pigeon, we've done extended side angle, we've done those horrible core planks that maybe you blacked out because I did, but all of those are going to string together to find Vishvamitrasana with the back knee lifted. So it looks like this. You find your way to your down dog, and then I always like to bring my dog a smidge shorter than it is already. And now which leg am I lifting? You lift one leg up off the earth, knee to armpit, and spin your back heel to the ground like extended side angle. And now as you lean into that opposite hand, this hand might get lighter. It's like a flamingo tipped over on its side. Now the same actions apply. You find your strap and lasso it around the foot. And now it's less about how high this leg can go, but how much steadiness do I have through the back leg? That's where the threshold is. Again, if I didn't have a mat, that thigh would want to drop down. So I'm trying to lift the thigh up and back, up and back, up and back, so much so that this leg has room to move, and maybe it reaches forward as I spin my chest open to the sky. And then when you want to come out, you can rest for a few breaths in pigeon. You can rest for a few breaths on the floor. You can take pigeon the whole time. But the idea of this pose is the boundary of the back leg. What is it letting in? What are you letting out? How much can it stand its ground? Because that's where your support is going to come from. Doesn't matter how high or straight the front leg is. If you saw that and your boundary elephant is like, no, babe, not interested, please don't. Any variation that we've done before, you can observe, you can lay on the ground, we'll meet you there soon. But if you want to try this version, I'll talk you through once on the right, once on the left, and then we'll go to sleep. So find your way to down dog if you're moving towards this bound version of Vishvamitrasana. Take a few breaths to let yourself arrive. And now walk your feet a hair closer towards your wrists. Mentally locate where your strap is. And now lift your right leg up and back, right knee to left shoulder, and spin your left back heel all the way to the ground like warrior two. Now lean into your right hand. Let your left hand find the strap and lasso it around the right foot. Now lift the left thigh up and back, up and back, up and back. Stand through the left leg, and as you bend your right knee, maybe it straightens off to the long edge of your mat. Maybe it sweeps forward towards the front of the room as you revolve your heart to the sky. Wahoo! Yes! And when you don't want to do it anymore, the exit is the foot comes down. You can rest in down dog, in child's pose, in pigeon, and just take a few breaths to let yourself arrive. Beautiful work. A Monday at noon, you know? You never know what's going to happen. I do, but maybe you don't. Questions? Thoughts, dreams, yogic related that I might be able to answer? Or just do the second side and lie down? Do the second side, yes. Okay, let's try the last side and then we'll wind our way down. Does everyone have something that they'd like to work on? Be it this shape or be it any variation? Okay, second side, last round, and then we do it again next year, maybe. That's the nice thing about these bonkers poses is that I don't do them every class. They come in seasons. So the more we practice together, you know what to expect and you know what classes to avoid. So that's always good. So from your down dog, come a smidge shorter than you already are. Lift your left leg up and back, left knee to right wrist, and spin your right heel all the way down to the ground. Now find your strap and lasso it around your left foot with your right hand. Remember your back leg. Lift the right thigh up and back, up and back, up and back, up and back. And as you stand through the right foot, maybe your left leg straightens towards your friend in front of you. Maybe you bend your right elbow and sweep your left leg forward towards the front of the room as you revolve yourself open to the sky. That's it. When you want to come out, release the hold of your leg, lower the foot, rest in pigeon, in down dog, in any variation where you can call yourself back to yourself. Slow down the beginning of your inhale and offer out every drop of your exhale. Take another few breaths wherever you find yourself. And then when the time comes, we'll all meet on our backs with your heads facing up towards me, your feet facing to the back of your mat. Have your therapy balls just within a reachable distance. If you don't have them, Kashika and I can bring some over to you. And have one of your blocks within a grabbable distance as well, just so you don't have to move too much until it's time to leave. So as you find your blocks and your therapy balls close by, bend your knees, bring both feet onto the floor. And with your feet nice and wide, let your arms fall anywhere they fall on your body, alongside of you, or even overhead. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, drop both knees to the right hand side. Wait for the inhale, sip it in to fill yourself up as the knees come up through center. And exhale to drop your knees to the left. Do that once more from side to side. Inhale, the knees come up. And a long, steady exhale to let the knees drop over. Inhale to let the knees come up once again. And exhale to let the knees drop over to the last side. Now the next time you draw your knees back through center, find your block. We'll take a few rounds of breath in supported bridge. With your block close by, knees bent, feet on the ground. Can you shrug your shoulders to your ears, wiggle the shoulder blades together, press through your feet to lift your hips up, slide a block to its lowest or second lowest height underneath your tush. And once it comes to the pelvis, to the hips, shrug your shoulders to your ears again, snuggle the shoulder blades together, and gently press the back of your head down so that there's space for breath to come through. Your hands can drape on your body, they can rest alongside of you. But 5 deep breaths here to call yourself back down to earth. Can you feel those thighs gently hug in towards each other so the low back can stay steady and clear? Can you breathe into the back of your heart, into your chest? And after a practice of heat, of movement, of effort and ease, can you call yourself back to the feeling of your breath? Take a slower, deeper breath in. And with each exhale, let more of yourself soften into the embrace of the earth. When you find your next breath or two, press down through your legs just enough to pop the block out from underneath you and lower your tush back to the ground. Widen your feet, knock your knees into each other, and let your hands rest anywhere on your body as you take a full breath into those hands. Breathe into the belly, the sides of your waist, the back of your chest, and even open your mouth to let all of that breath go. Locate your therapy balls. So I'll give you some options. I'll talk you through therapy balls in the upper back. If there's any other region that you know that you'd like to work on your own, please feel free to take this time to do so. You can also skip therapy ball work and meet us in rest. We'll be there very soon after. Take them out of their tote or keep them in their tote. It's completely up to you. But if you're working in the upper back, lift your head and shoulders just enough to pop the therapy balls in between your shoulder blades to either side of your spine. Once you find a sweet spot between the wings of your shoulder blades, let the back of your head either come onto the earth, or to alleviate some pressure, you can bring your head up onto a block, like a pillow, for same sensation, just less intensity. Can you be in the place of the fullness of your breath? A long, slow breath in, and a clear, full breath out. The beauty of these mythological stories is that we can think of them as so separate from our existence as yogis in the 21st century, living in the city with relationships. But the idea is that these stories, the qualities of these gods and goddesses, they're reminders of aspects of our own divinity. For just as Ganesh is the keeper of boundaries, the remover of obstacles, you are the one who gets to discern what comes in, what you let out, what you let in, and what you offer to the world around. You're more than welcome to stay here. If you'd like to find a few more places with your knees bent, feet on the floor, roll your body towards your head just a few inches so those therapy balls come down your back to the middle of the shoulder blades, slightly lower than where they just were. Once you find this new place with your head and tush on the ground or up on a block, take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out. You can keep your arms just as they are. You might slowly reach your arms up towards the sky and almost move them like seaweed in water, letting the palms, the arms be heavy. The jaw stays soft, and the breath stays fuller than ever before. If your arms are overhead, slowly lower them back to the ground. And then perhaps one more place, you might scooch your hips another few inches towards your heels and roll the therapy balls down to the very bottom of your shoulder blades, the bottom tips. Still in the upper back, the back of your heart, as you take a longer breath in and an open mouthed exhale out to let all of that breath go. Can you let the back of your head, the eyes, the jaw, the tongue soften to allow for more space, for more breath? Now, after a few breaths here, we'll make that slow exit journey out. If you have any blocks underneath you, slowly release them out of the way. And then the same way we came in, begin to scooch your hips towards your heels and roll yourself towards the back of your mat so you feel those therapy balls travel up. Eventually they'll pop up from the top of your shoulders. If they take t-shirts or clothes with you, you can also roll over to one side and push them out of the way. But do let them fully exit from the upper back for the remainder of rest. For sometimes if they stay in, they create more tension than softening. And the next place we'll meet is making our way towards rest. So give yourself a moment or two to add or remove any props or layers. You might let your hair down. Perhaps your glasses set safely off to the side. But as you drape yourself down onto the altar of the earth, you as the offering, can you once again turn towards your breath? Take a breath in and down, let it fill you up. And exhale through your nose or gently parted lips. Take as many of those breaths as you need. Letting each breath gently dissolve the practice that was. Each breath lets you arrive to where you are now. And each breath that comes after makes more space for what has yet to come. So as you lay here in the threshold that you have created, can each round of your breath let you become heavier into the earth? And the heavier you let yourself become, the lighter, the more spacious, the more expansive you may just start to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a sweeter breath out. Take another breath in, down, and wide. And as you exhale, offer that breath up and out. Let your breath begin to slowly awaken the body that you're in and the very being that you are with any gentle movement that just feels sweet to you. You might start by rolling wrists or ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you tip your head from side to side, heavy against the earth. Just watching for those around you and any props. Perhaps you reach your arms away from your legs or draw your knees in towards your chest. But whenever you're ready, we'll all meet with the knees bent, arms overhead as you roll to any side of your choice to curl into yourself. When the time comes, you can push down into the ground and come up to rise to your seat, just as we began. With those eyes softly closed or softly open, begin to listen for your breath. Take a breath in and down, let it fill you up completely. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out in each direction. Our time together will finish with one more of those breaths. You can place your hands to center anywhere that feels for you, on your person or in front of your heart. As you take a deep breath in, to let it all go. You might bow your head to your hands or slowly lift your hands towards your head in such a sweet and simple gesture of self-reverence, bowing to yourself and to one another who practiced right alongside next to you. And with all of our hearts, Kashika and I bow to each and every one of you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. We did a lot in an hour. Thank you. Drink lots of water. Enjoy this weather. Take really good care of yourselves and each other. If you used anything from the studio, there's some wipes here if you'd like to wipe them off with, and then some announcements. I taught the first class at Yoga at the Art Museum on Saturday, and it was so sweet. It's in the sculpture garden. It's free. It's on the patio. It's Saturday from 9 to 10. And I'm doing it for the rest of September. And it's always nice to see familiar faces. So if you're around or if you know people who would like it, I'd love to see you there. My beloved Adriana and I are starting teacher training in a couple of weeks. We do immersion from September until December, where we do Ganesh stories, the stories of the Bhagavad Gita, anatomy training, just such sweet container holding. And then training starts again in January. And then this is not related, and I know Kishan has an announcement that I want to blast about, but my sweet, sweet dad is putting on a concert at Studio 34 on October 13th, where he will be playing the tabla and the flute, and his friend will be playing the harmonium and singing classical Indian songs and Bollywood hits. It's donation-based. He did it in my house, and it was the sweetest thing in the entire world. So if that's your jam, I'll tell you more about it the sooner we get, but I know calendars fill up quickly. It's in 6 more weeks in October, but come through. It's in the evening, yes. I will check the time and date next week. I'm pretty sure it's like 5 or 7, yeah. And then sweet Kishan has a reading at Ulysses this Thursday.
Yes, I published a poetry thing, so I'll be doing a reading at Ulysses Thursday from around it'll go from 6 to 10, but most of it'll be party, and then I'll probably read for like 30 minutes.
Yay! I'm trying to get coverage for my class so I can come, but I got tickets. So I'm holding the space, but it's a dream. Anyone else have things? Teen yoga. Can you talk about it? Besides me just saying teen yoga with Nicole.
If you know teens, have teens,
Interact
send
with
them
them.
my way. We're going to do a 4-week series starting in October. There's pamphlets downstairs as well with timing, but it should be 4:30 or 5:30
Yay!
on Friday.
And this is Nicole, an angel on earth. Everyone else good? Great. I'll see you soon. Next week, more binds. Not as scary as this one. And there's great classes before me and after me, so I fully understand if you don't want to come. I'll see you later. Oh, the exit. You don't have to look at it. I always forget. Just